Fantasy Football Show. My name is Danny Heifetz, and I am joined in person by Danny Kelly and Craig Horlbeck, and we are going over all the games, almost all the games, from Week 7, and we're going to be here all week in Los Angeles. We're here. We're doing all the episodes this week in person. We watched all the games today together for the first time in years.
In a movie theater.
Only one way to start. Craig.
Yeah.
Steelers just kicked the Jets' ass. Russell Wilson, undefeated as a Pittsburgh Steeler. How do you feel? Take me through your emotional range today.
DK prepped me well with the bingo card, which nobody hit bingo because Russ was too good.
I know, he was too clean.
He was too damn good. Look, we could take any quarterback. Who's next? Bryce Young? We could win with Bryce.
What about Kenny Pickett?
Well, I don't know about Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
He beat the Giants today, technically.
Yeah, man. Russ was really good. I got to say. It was a little shaky. I think Pickens bailed him out a lot, but it feels like the Steelers have an identity. Feels like we have two good quarterbacks. Now I'm kind of retroactively convincing myself everything that Tomlin said this week makes sense.
I was thinking about a clip this week of Bill Belichick, I think, talking to Peyton Manning like earlier in the season. And I thought this was a total bit. And he was like, I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers might have the best quarterback situation in the entire league. And I was like, wow, what a liar thing to say. And then there you go. Maybe Belichick's right.
No, it's not. What? Come on.
Well, at least we now know, like we know what we have with Fields, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had 6 games with Fields. We know what we can do with Fields. Now we're learning, what we can do with Russ. And then you can make a decision at the latter half of the season, what you want to do. If something goes wrong, at least I know what type of offense the Steelers are with Fields, and I know what type of offense the Steelers could be with Russ, which is like, honestly, a very like Houston Rockets-esque offense. It was all just like bombs and short little passes to Darnell Washington, and we ran the ball great.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw this from Matt Harmon. The Steelers on play action was like that's the biggest difference with Russ and Fields. They were 8 for 9 today for 150 yards on play action. It was the most play action yards by a Steelers quarterback since 2016.
Really?
Tonight.
Okay. That's
the difference. Fields was not great with play action. Kenny Pickett was not great. Ben was in his Adele Parkenbark era for the last 6 years of his career. And so that's what Russ brought, which DK, I'm sure you can speak to because that was what he's always been good at.
I was going to say, it's like, I kind of thought he would be taking more sacks and things like that. I thought they did a good job of, kind of moving him around. It wasn't just like a lot of straight drop back stuff. Yeah. We were joking during the game that it felt like every time on second down, they would run play action and throw a little dump off to Darnell Washington. It was just like one way or the other, and they just like keep spamming.
And then it was a bomb to Pickett one way or the other.
But yeah, I mean
Pickens.
I think it was always, this was how I pictured Russell Wilson. It was like those deep bombs down the sideline. That was always a huge thing for the Seahawks offense in the Russell Wilson era. In fact, for a while there with the Seahawks, they had this thing where they're like, let's own the red line. And if you haven't seen on a lot of practice fields, there's literal red line running up the sideline. It's like, I don't know, 3 or 4 yards off the sideline. And they just always talk about own that red line, own the red line. And all the Seahawks receivers would do this. And Russ is so good at just dropping it in a bucket down the sideline. And even a couple of those plays that they made, it was like he kind of short-armed it.
Yeah.
He's still kind of, I think, getting his chemistry with Pickens. And but yeah, he fits perfectly with like Pickens' style because Pickens will catch anything.
He's the 99 contested catch receiver in Madden that you
hit
just
another
chuck up to.
Absolutely ridiculous catch out of bounds today. Like Heifetz, your joke is if the field was like another yard and a half wide, like he'd be Jerry Rice.
He's like a Harlem Globetrotter, really. Like every pass, he's like tipping balls around. He's like doing tricks.
He had one catch, he literally caught it 3 times. He just like keeps throwing it up to himself. So yeah, he played a lot more clean than I thought.
He had a better second half too, Russ. Like you could feel him getting warm. I think the Steelers scored on the last 5 drives of the game, which like just sounds insane. The Steelers having a competent offense. Look, I'm not going to get too ahead of myself. Like I feel like next week Russ could immediately be a pumpkin against the Giants.
Right.
And
don't put that. Don't do that. I see what you're doing. Don't do that. Don't you dare
like
do that.
Reverse jinxing each other. Like it's like a reverse jinx off.
Yeah, you snake.
We're not going to be able to block Brian Burns. We're going to get screwed. Russ is going to get killed. Fields will be in.
That's so pathetic that you would do that. I'm so mad at you. But first of all, the Tomlin thing, I'm not going to lie, the first couple drives when Russ looked awful, I thought this was like a huge mistake from Tomlin to put Russ in.
Yeah.
And then I feel like it was interesting to just see, I feel like especially coaches like Tomlin are so much, we're just thinking about the next week. We're thinking about the next week. And it was so interesting to have Tomlin very transparently be like, no, we're thinking about the whole season.
Yeah, we're trying to win the Super Bowl. I was like, okay.
Our schedule does seem hard later. We got to figure this out now. So also, DK, came up with, we played Russell Wilson bingo tonight.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie, I can't believe how many of these you hit. You nailed, after 10 years of watching Russell Wilson play football. We nailed like, what, 8 of these tonight on the bingo card? The corny pregame ritual.
Mm-hmm.
He had
That was a given, yeah.
Lose 10 yards in a sack. Obviously, he had the cringe answer in an interview. I think he did that before the game.
He did.
He was super sweaty and out of breath.
I don't know
in the
what he
pregame
was
interview.
on, but we need to take that
That was
before every
interesting.
pod
Yeah.
moving forward.
It's just enthusiasm. It's just enthusiasm.
It's just worship music and hard work. That's what he said.
Yeah, it was a bunch of
Can
like
I hear whatever
it was
worship music he's listening to?
a
Damn.
bunch of non sequitur like cliches, just like spouting them off.
Lecrae. I don't know. But the
Lecrae? What's that?
whole is like a Christian rap.
Oh,
Oh, I didn't know that either.
yeah, I didn't know that. I'm not tapped into that,
You know?
that
I
world.
wasn't gonna call him on that because I didn't know what he was talking
Who's
about.
that band? Who's the band who does the "Here Comes the Boom"? Aren't they Christian rap? POD?
Yeah, that sounds so familiar.
Yeah.
Wait, that's a Christian rap song?
POD in general, I believe, is a Christian rap band.
we have
group.
a POD, you know, pod.
Fuck, I'm moving on. Jesus. So just to go to the Jets.
Just gonna double check here about POD.
It is a
Not
Christian.
kidding.
Yeah, they are American Christian new metal
Christian
band
New metal.
So again,
from San Diego. Whoa.
so the Steelers won 37-15. I'll say it again. Russell Wilson and the Steelers scored 37 points in the Jets.
Russell Wilson scored a whole bunch of fantasy points too, by the way.
Steelers haven't scored
More than
37 points since 2020.
So the Jets started 4-3 last year with Zach Wilson. Aaron Rodgers and the Jets are 2-5. DK, what the fuck did the Jets even do now?
I think they're like a receiver away. It feels like.
Yeah, they got to go trade for somebody.
Randall Cobb, Jordy Nelson.
Maybe they'll
Yeah.
trade away Garrett Wilson, Ewing theory, because Garrett Wilson had an atrocious ball, like hit him in the chest, bounced off of him. It turned into a near pick six. He got to the 1 yard line. The defender did.
You think that was what did him in?
Yeah, that was the final nail in the coffin there. I'm kidding. But Adam Schefter did say this week that teams are calling about Garrett Wilson.
They should call about Devontae
I'm
Adams. They
like,
should
honestly,
just
I
flip
wouldn't
him.
put anything past Aaron Rodgers right now. Like, it's backs against the wall time. You get the GM, the coach. Well, I don't know the coach, but the GM, the quarterback is getting old. Like, everybody's back is against the wall right now.
I kind of think with the Jets, it's like there's nothing you can do. You just have to hope.
No, I think the hope is dead. They have to finish 8-2 to get to 10 wins.
But it's like that's all they have. I don't know what moves
What
they
do you
can
mean?
make right
There's
now.
no hope. What hope? The Mets
what do you-
season ended. The Jets season is over. What hope is
no
the hope
hope.
was the last like 2 years.
Sure.
What are you talking about?
I'm literally saying, there's no move you can make. Is my point. Like it's just like sit there and watch and hope.
This does seem like a situation you get in when your owner's like thinking's overrated.
Yeah.
Do you ever get like a twinge of like you feel bad for Jets fans?
Yeah, all the time. No, all the time, constantly. They're miserable people.
I just keep thinking again of Sean Fantasy's tweet before the season. He was like, "I'm just going to go on record.
Everything's gonna be a
You know,
disaster.
He's like, it's going to be a catastrophe or something like that."
Yeah. Didn't he say like they'll fire Robert Saleh, Aaron Rodgers will retire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just I just
Pretty prescient.
being
really.
bored into the
But
Jets.
again, you could probably say that before every season and be like right most of the time with the Jets.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think that the Jets Aaron Rodgers experience. It's crazy how history just rhymes sometimes, and this is just the Brett Favre thing all over again. Just enough, except without making the playoffs, and it actually is like way worse.
Dude, the Jets defense today, -3 fantasy points
Yeah, they're tough.
against Russ.
Honestly, it's
Najee
not even
Harris.
enough. That's 37 points. -3 is generous. All right. So, winners and losers from the day. I feel like I'm a loser and Saquon Barkley's a winner. I'm going to start there.
Yeah.
It's just like,
That's tough. Look, all you have left is hope.
So the Eagles beat the Giants 28-3. Yeah, maybe they can still come back 28-3, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, hope.
Yeah.
So John Mara, remember on Hard Knocks when he was like, I'll have Saquon goes to Philly, I'd have a tough time sleeping. Well, he was right. Saquon had second most rushing yards of Saquon's entire career, which actually undersells it because Saquon was 13 yards shy of his career high with 13 minutes left to go when he was pulled from
But
the
they
game.
were winning by too much. Yeah.
They were winning by too much to play him. Kenny Pickett came in. Saquon has more rushing yards today than the Giants had total yards. And
Yeah.
Saquon scored a touchdown at MetLife Stadium this season before Daniel Jones did.
Who's your least favorite Giant right now in the organization, on the team in general?
All right. Who do you think is my least favorite Giant?
I actually don't know. Is it Joe Shane? Is it Daniel Jones?
Oh, it's Daniel Jones.
Okay.
It's Daniel Jones.
A week ago, you guys were back together. What happened?
I didn't say back together. I said I was talking to this
He's like
toxic ex I wanted out of my life.
The J-Lo and Affleck thing?
Yeah, and I'm sitting there with the dragon tattoo on my back, smoking, staring at the sea, and I'm like, "This is no," but it's finally over now. This is
now it's over.
It's over.
Okay.
It is so. It's never been more over for Daniel Jones.
Right.
Brian, like they benched him for Drew Lock today. We saw Drew Lock.
Well, they didn't. It was like not a real benching.
It was a trial balloon. It's like texting your ex, or like not even an ex. You know what that meant.
That's what you just did to Daniel Jones a week ago.
No, well, it's a new person.
So not texting your ex.
It's look, Daniel Jones is this nice guy
Anyone
that we
else.
settled for, and like clearly we shouldn't have moved in so quickly.
Mhm.
And Drew Lock is he's tall. He's got a big arm. I don't know if he's got anything going on up here, but that's not what I need right now. I just need someone exciting right now. And Drew Lock
He has a really smooth jumper. You guys ever seen him play basketball?
No.
Good hooper.
Did he play in high school?
Yeah, he was a
Probably.
really good high school basketball
Nice. Look at that. That's cool. Daniel Jones probably sucks at basketball.
It can't be worse than he is at football. I fucking
not
hate
that
this
bad.
team.
Saquon looks so good today.
Dude, Saquon, Giants could use a player like that.
Yeah, but he wouldn't help that much, really. Honestly, like
No.
you guys would probably be in the same position.
Yeah, the Giants are an
honest.
awful team. Yeah,
It does feel
they
like
didn't have
a
Andrew
good
Thomas.
running back helps a good team
Right.
so much more than a
Right.
good running back
Yeah,
helps a bad team.
I think that's 100% the thing. It's like a running back is not going to put a bad team over the top or like get them out of the cellar or whatever, but a good running back can really put like a good team over the
Yeah, like a good running back can close games, which only good teams are in the position to do.
There you go.
I mean, Derrick Henry with the Ravens, I know they haven't
Yeah.
played yet this week, but like Gibbs on the Lions this week.
Mixon
I
on
mean,
the Texans.
and the Niners being worse without McCaffrey. Like it does. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, the Giants are right there. Craig, who's your winner from week 7?
Browns.
God.
Big Browns day today. Sometimes life finds a way. You know what I mean?
So this is obviously in reference to Deshaun Watson tearing his Achilles tendon.
Yeah.
He's out for the year.
Out for the
almost
year.
surely.
Crazy. Deshaun's been he's been on the Browns for 3 years. Each of the 3 seasons, he's played exactly 6 games.
What a disaster.
666. Isn't that interesting?
Oh wow, I didn't even.
I will say, a player, even guy like Deshaun Watson getting hurt, you can't make fun of guys getting hurt.
No.
Nah,
Pretty sure you guys are. Yeah.
You're not? You want to join in? Water's warm.
It's-
I mean, I really like laugh along.
I think this is the
Yeah.
definition of the exception that proves the rule.
Dude, I just can't believe this happened.
I know.
This is crazy. I mean,
Deshaun
Hey,
Watson-
like, if we're being like 100% honest, like, what do you think? Like the coach and the GM were like thinking at that moment. Were they like,
Finally.
thank God?
have you
Like
guys,
in their heart of hearts, they were probably like, oh my God.
yeah, I think I mentioned this before, but you know the Steve Carell movie Get Smart? And he's like the secret agent and he gets promoted and he has the cone of silence and he presses it, but
Right.
it malfunctions when he gets promoted and he turns around and he goes, "That's the best day of my life!" I think that's what
So now the
Steph-
question becomes: are they going to go with
it's gonna be Jameis.
Thompson Robinson or Jameis Winston?
I mean, DTR is terrible.
I mean, the Jameis.
yeah, but
I
there's been all
swear-
these there's been all these reports all season that they like him a lot and all this stuff. I mean, that doesn't mean anything, I guess. But
As you always say, lying.
yeah, but Jameis was the emergency third QB. Maybe that's just so they don't
Why
get
was
tempted to
that?
put him in.
I
Yeah.
still feel like the answer is going to be actually he has a clause in his contract that they have to pay him per game roster bonuses or something.
if he's
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a reason, but maybe DTR is better. But
Well,
yeah, that
this
seems
is
crazy.
what our buddy Roger Sherman was tweeting this today. It's like, so it's because they don't want fans clamoring for Jameis to come in.
I was wondering. Well, yeah,
God.
that would feel like a conspiracy theory if they didn't literally get rid of Joe Flacco because he
Yeah,
made
yeah.
the playoffs. And that was. I also, just to your point about Kevin Stefanski, I feel like he's like the main guy in Shogun, where you're like, oh, this was your plan the whole time.
Yeah.
Like-
I think the real question is, so what is it, week 7 towards Achilles? Do you think Deshaun Watson ever plays football again?
dude, I don't know. It's a fair question because I
Not as a starter.
think about.
I mean,
how-
obviously.
But what are you going to do? Bring Deshaun Watson in as your backup?
I think it's going to be like one of those things where his rehab takes a really, really long time. Do you think he actually wants to keep playing?
Honestly, it's like a thought experiment. It's like, would you want $250 million if everyone in the world hated you?
I know.
Like, and you were just like this, like, he's like a pariah. I don't know. It is crazy because I believe for various accounting reasons that are way too boring to get into right now, this, in a way, helps the Browns salary cap a lot. And it's kind of like they should basically, it would probably be in everyone's best interest.
Because they essentially have an insurance policy out, right?
Yeah. And they basically would the best scenario for the Browns is probably Deshaun Watson saying this medically ended my career. And he kind of should just ride off in the sunset. Take $250 million guaranteed. The Browns finagle it in a way that comes off their cap. And you know what, Deshaun? Never appear in public ever again. Go away, buy an island somewhere. And like, you know what? Cool. And because I feel like he's kind of the first person that actually got canceled. Like he's just gone. He didn't get hurt.
I wouldn't give him an island. Not a great track record. Rich people with islands.
Yeah. I think I heard Cousin Sal talking about this. Like, he just hasn't looked like he's wanted to be out there at all this year. Like, he's like, I think he's probably relieved.
You think he's relieved?
Yeah. Maybe not like the worst injury.
Yeah, possible.
Like, maybe not. Maybe he wouldn't have chosen Achilles, but
most people I think are relieved, which is nice.
I mean, the Browns, I think the only way Deshaun Watson could have got a standing ovation is if he had done the thumbs down on the cart on the way out.
He's like, I'm screwed.
Yeah. It's just everyone's like, yeah.
Well, did the fans boo when he was getting carted off?
Oh, yeah.
That's
and the players freak, which I will just say to the Browns players, I'm sure it's weird for them to watch, like they've all been hurt on the field, and I'm sure it's weird to see the fans like turn on one of them. And obviously it's Watson, but to them, they're thinking about what if I was booed? Having said that, I'm just going to read the quote that Myles Garrett talking about the Deshaun Watson getting, and he was booed as he was carted off the field. I get that for Watson. Myles Garrett, I can't believe this was real. Myles Garrett said, quote, Deshaun Watson was a model citizen through college and most of the pros.
You can't write that.
It sounds like something you'd put on The Onion. Yeah.
Most of the time.
Most of the pros.
Technically speaking.
Also, I believe it was definitely less than half of the pros. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, winners, definitely the Cleveland Browns. DK, who's your biggest winner for today?
I didn't have a winner, I had a loser.
Nice.
Mike McDaniel, head coach of the Dolphins, who
DJ Mikey Mike
lost to the Colts.
Look, I want him to do well. I'm a fan of him. I think like the way he coaches is really it's, I don't know, unique is the right word, but it's like it's not the norm thing. Like, he's like very much in tune with people's like feelings and confidence building, and like what he had done with Tua after last year. I think was really interesting. I also think he's like really good at designing a run game, all that stuff. But my God, at some point, dude, you have to be able to figure out how to get this offense going. Since Tua's gone out, this has been by far the worst offense in the NFL. They've averaged 10 points a game. And I would bet like a lot of those points were garbage time points after they're losing by a ton. And I think after coming out of a bye, going up against a Colts defense, they lost to the Colts 16-10, by the way. Coming into this game with a bye week, 2 weeks to prepare, you got to figure out a way to get Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle the ball. Like, I think it's like ridiculous.
What did they finish with?
They had 2 combined catches for 19 yards, 4 total targets, and those were like late in the game.
They both had 0 targets at halftime.
Yeah,
and it cost them, functionally speaking, 3 first-round picks, or 4 almost for those 2 players. And
I just don't understand how you can't scheme up plays for those guys.
I get why
get the ball in their hands.
I get why Mike McDaniel maybe struggled with adapting. And again, I think he struggled adapting this Dolphins offense to Tyler Huntley on the fly, and it was hard not to compare him to Matt LaFleur and Malik Willis with the same situation. But for Mike McDaniel to come out of the bye
against the Colts,
and it's still
the Colts defense is not good.
You were unable to get Tyreek. You pay Tyreek Hill more than $30 million a year, and you cannot get him like multiple touches. I
don't understand it.
It's his shtick.
And it's not just this week. Like, it's been a thing for multiple weeks in a row now. Like, figure out ways to get him involved somehow.
To your point about being nice about feelings, do you think that that's actually a really bad way to run a football team?
Well, that's not the only way he does it. I mean, I think that's just like an aspect of his coaching style. But like, at this point, I'm more worried about his scheming. You know what I mean? Like, how are you not able to get Tyreek Hill the ball?
I feel like that's McDaniel's whole thing. Like, it's kind of like now the tuxedos are kind of fucked up. Like, I'm like, if he can't do this, what does he do? What is he good at?
Well, I think I look at the Dolphins as, it's tough. I think it's 2 things. I feel like he obviously had a bunch of stuff that was really cool last year with just everything to do with speed and motion and really creating this whole offense around, you're going to run routes in quicker timing concepts that is possible because everything you have is faster. But I think I feel like in a nutshell, they built an incredibly specific roster, or incredibly specific game plan around an incredibly fragile roster. And like it's just this thing that really only
Like a
works
house of
for
cards.
Tua,
Yeah.
around Tua, and then it's like, oh yeah, this offensive line sucks, right? The Dolphins are just like, I don't know, the way they spend money just makes no sense. And like, frankly, Stephen Ross with the Dolphins, it's kind of similar to Woody Johnson with the Jets, where old owner, aging, like he was Stephen Ross donates a ton of Michigan, got his Michigan championship, just throws a ton of money at the Dolphins, wants a Super Bowl, and like they're just trying to like take shortcuts everywhere in terms of spending money, giving up draft picks. And like it's a very poorly built roster by Chris Greer, the GM, and I don't know. It reflects a team that's shouldn't. They try to take shortcuts to get here, and it's incredibly top heavy.
So last year they scored 70 points in a game, and they finally got to 70 points 6 weeks into the season today.
God.
They've
Life
literally
comes to you
averaged
fast.
10 points over the last 4 games. 10 points a game. It's tough.
Yeah. All right, Mike McDaniel's a loser. The other loser.
But Tua's coming back next week, apparently. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Should he? Why?
I don't know.
I mean,
I
part
want
of
to
me
know why he doesn't wear the Guardian cap.
Why wasn't he
Devon
wearing it?
Achane? Devon Achane came back and wore a Guardian cap
If
in
Tua
this game.
doesn't come back wearing a guarding cap, that's insane. But I also think it's kind of insane to think that Tua might come back and get another concussion in November when the Dolphins have been all but eliminated by from the playoffs. I know it's like, you can't think about that one way, but
Yeah,
I don't know how I don't know. Tua coming back, they're like, oh, once Tua's back, part of me is like, that's also probably a disaster. You know what happened 2 years ago? When he had the 2 concussions in 1 week, he came back and he got another concussion in December. And I'm like, Tua's probably, frankly, like he's at such a risk of another one when he comes back. I'm like, just because he doesn't come back this season doesn't mean he has to retire. If anything, if you want to play in the future,
That's
I'm
just
like,
not how they think.
I know, but
Also, they're second in the division right
And I
now.
was
They
going to
probably
say,
think they have a shot.
weirdly enough, they are
That's so
not. They're
nuts.
second in the East right now. The
That's
Jets
insane.
are worse. The Patriots are awful.
So
Yeah.
my loser for this week is the San Francisco 49ers. And honestly, this whole era of the Kyle Shanahan 49ers, I think it ended today. I'm not even kidding.
The vibes are very bad.
The Chiefs beat the 49ers 28-18. And then I like the Niners' strategy of instead of blowing a double-digit lead to the Chiefs in the fourth quarter, they never really had the lead for really any significant portion of the game. I like that strategy from Shanahan.
Mhm.
Didn't work. I think
just
the Super
change things up, you know?
I really think the Shanahan Niners Super Bowl window of this team is over. Like, I really feel that way. And I know, like, just physically, Deebo Samuel, had no injury designation coming in this game and, like,
He
left
got
2
sick.
steps.
He was sick.
All right, I don't know why it wasn't on the injury report. If 2 snaps in, he was too sick to play. Brandon Ayuk, we have no idea what happened to his knee, but, like, it seems like an ACL
I know what
tear.
happened, and it wasn't good.
They're not supposed to bend that way. It's
Yeah,
bad.
Juwan Jennings is hurt. Obviously, McCaffrey's out. Things aren't great. Trent Williams went down late.
So all they're good players. But then
But he got
psychologically,
ejected.
Oh, right. He got ejected. I actually like that. I'm back. They're back.
Yeah.
am I being dramatic when I'm like, psychologically, I think this team threw it on the scrap heap of all the other teams that lost Super Bowls and are now psychologically destroyed. Like Mahomes trucking this Niners strong safety into the end zone. Like, it's
Dude, that's
over.
crazy because that guy made such a sick play earlier in the game. He,
Have
like,
you
can't-
seen what that guy looks like when he has, like, that guy is one of the strongest, most ripped dudes in the league.
How did that even happen? He also tweeted after the game, like, he's like, I'm getting cooked.
I don't know. I just, first of all, to that point, even in a game where Mahomes wasn't amazing, the idea that you add another layer to what you think about Mahomes. Have you ever thought of Mahomes being physical? I never have. And he trucked the safety into the end zone.
Definitely not.
But also just, I keep thinking about Jason Kelsey talking last year about the Eagles being 10-1. And he's like, we were just slumping around the building, miserable because we lost the Super Bowl is all we were thinking about when they were 10-1. You know who's not 10-1? The Niners. The Niners now have fallen to, they are 3-4 on the season, 1 game better than the Jets, who are 1 game better than the Patriots. And then the Niners, frankly, I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs, but I just look at this team. How do all the emotions not come out for all these people? Like, think about all the, I mean, this is Ayuk just signed this giant contract, maybe is out for the entire season. I don't know. Am I being dramatic? Like, I feel like this star is like just about, it's an imploding star. And now the Niners could be like a black hole.
I feel like, in movies where the main villain gets hurt, but it's like off screen and you can't really tell if they're dead or not. And like, I just want to be like, go pick up the gun and shoot them another 10 times. Make sure they're dead. Because I don't believe that they're dead. They're definitely coming back, and you're putting the gun down, and you're like going about your day, and it drives me insane. Like, that's how I feel about with the 49ers right now. Everything you're saying, I'm like, okay, but go and pick up the gun and like finish.
It's like
the
when
job.
the villain ties up James Bond and gives like a 10-minute
I'm
speech. on
simply
what he's
going
to
to
do.
leave them here and assume they died. It's like I'm not even close to saying this team is dead yet because they've got so much talent. They have been injured a lot, yes, but like Christian McCaffrey could come back. They still have Bosa.
I like the zag out of you.
I don't know. I've just seen the Niners like hurt my feelings too many times to like really start dancing on their grave before they're actually gone.
But there was the whole Shanahan.
Obviously, the vibes are terrible right
The
now.
vibes are really bad.
The bizarre conflicting report about Shanahan and Purdy talking for 5 minutes where someone's like, yeah, they had a nice conversation and shook hands. And then this other guy was like, yeah, Shanahan yelled at Purdy for 5 minutes and Purdy just sat there and took it.
Thing.
Never seen anything like it. Like that was the two versions of the same conversation. I don't know.
It was probably somewhere in the middle. Let's be honest.
If Kyle Shanahan was a friend, I feel like you would check in on him out of concern. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. You can tell when people start changing their hair, that's when it's a problem. You saw it with Sirianni.
Yeah.
You see it now with Shanahan's
Got
getting
the
like the
long
mullet
hair,
creeping out, the lettuce is coming out of the hat. It's a problem.
It's a
Change your identity.
It's a
You're trying
problem.
to change something. It's the only thing he can control is his hair right now. So
Who's your loser?
the Texans and Stroud and whatever the hell happened today with the Texans, they only lost by 2 to the Packers, but it was much worse. Stroud was terrible. It was probably in most regards the worst game of his career. I wanted to do
10 of 21 for 86 yards.
I want to do the John Gruden of CJ Stroud. For those of you who don't know, go on TikTok and watch John Gruden's clip about NFL quarterbacks. And
but then follow our TikTok at Ringer Fantasy Football and our Instagram at Ringer Fantasy Football.
Right, but if you only could do one, Gruden. Ready? So he goes, CJ Stroud, 10 for 21, 86 yards, 0 touchdowns, 4 sacks and a loss? Shred him, Stroud! I couldn't do that in pregame warm-up. 86 yards.
Can we get the music in the background?
I feel like you could do that in pregame.
Yeah. Got me feeling nicey.
Can you give me one more who?
Who?
So I think you're rowing a boat.
The who comes like right when you don't expect it.
Tank Dell had 0 catches. It was a nightmare for anybody who started a Texan, which was me. I started Dalton Schultz, Tank Dell, Stroud. It was a mess. Stroud.
We've never done that on the show. No,
we've been doing Gus Johnson. I just got back from a bachelor party, and all we did for 3 days was Gus Johnson
impression.
Stroud on the outside. Gets the edge.
Dude, I was telling these guys, part of like the draft prep or whatever. It's like
Texans.
Part of the draft prep, it just involves watching cut-ups of these guys, and sometimes if you can't find the all 22 of like one of the games, you just watch the game tape or whatever. And I'm just like, I can't take any more Gus Johnson. I know everyone loves him, but I'm just like, it's like 70 straight Stroud. Like it's just like it just gets burned.
He's the
my
best.
mind.
There's nobody like Stroud. Stroud.
Close it up. Stroud. 17 straight times.
Oh, God.
One more time.
Stroud.
Nico Collins.
Craig's definitely the best.
So we have to one day talk about the Hornets announcer.
Oh, yeah. What's that guy's name? I love that guy.
Oh,
the Charlotte
like,
Hornets announcer.
You guys, we were
name,
watching
Austin?
highlights of this guy at
The
the
Hornets
NFL draft,
announcer.
and you guys were
Again,
losing your
if you
shit.
want to spend the best 10 minutes of your life, stop this pod and go listen to the
Hardest-
Charlotte Hornets
Top
guy.
3 hardest I've laughed as an adult was Austin Gale showing us the Hornets announcer. Who
I need
just
to find this man's name.
No.
Austin, do you know his name? I don't know. Okay. Damn. It's Eric Collins.
Eric Collins.
Yeah, that guy's the best.
He's the best announcer in the world.
The Hornets haven't been good in a decade. He doesn't care. He's having the best day of his life.
Full send everything.
And he's such a homer. Like when it's like the opposing team will shoot a 3, he'll just be like, no! He just like doesn't care. Eric Collins, you're doing it right. Unlike the Texans. But Heifetz, you've been on this for a while about Bobby Slowick kind of being on Fraud Watch.
Oh, yeah.
SBF alert.
Bobby Slowick. Yeah. So, yeah, thank you for this segment. So we have now Fraud Watch presented by FTX. And Bobby Slowick, who we were talking about as a head coach candidate 6 months ago, I think he'll be fired at the end of the season. So Bobby Slowick, the offensive coordinator for the Texans, he got all this praise because CJ Stroud was really good at football. And everyone's like, Bobby Slowick, look
and
what
he came from San Francisco.
And he came from San Francisco. And he's like, this mid-30s white guy who knows Kyle Shanahan.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, well, his quarterback's good. He must be a head coach. And I'm like, meanwhile, Bobby Slowick, I actually think is a pretty bad play caller. Like, I don't like any of his play calls. And he's, frankly,
very conservative for how good his team is and how good his quarterback
well,
is.
conservative is the word.
To be specific, he just runs on early downs like every single time. He's never seen his first and second and long that he wanted to pass on.
Yeah.
100%.
Like, never passes on early downs.
People conflate young with new ideas.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, Bobby Slowick coaches with the fear of youth.
Yeah.
Like he coaches as someone who's afraid to fail, and so he just does the most traditional, conservative, hard to criticize internally in football thing, which is run on first, establish the run for your young rookie quarterback or young quarterback. When in reality, the offense sucks, and they're not doing anything creative, and they're not doing anything bold. In reality, so many of the teams that are having success. Also, if you want to actually protect a young quarterback, you want them to throw on 1st and 10. That's actually how you make their life easier, and you want to be running on like 3rd and 1 or skip 3rd down altogether. But no, frankly, I just think Bobby Slowick, like, I don't think anything about what he does is bold or particularly interesting, to be totally honest.
No, it's the same stuff we were saying last week. It's like Stroud has faced more 3rd and longs than any other quarterback, and he like bails them out a lot of the time because he's so good.
Yes.
But this game, like, it all just kind of fell apart. He wasn't as sharp. There was drops. Tank Dell dropped a touchdown in the first quarter.
Dude, imagine being CJ Stroud last season, and every amazing Stroud moment we loved was him bailing them out, as you just said, on 3rd and long. And they were like, man, that Bobby Slowick should be a head coach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, not saying they were a fraudulent 5-1, but I 5-2 makes a lot more sense for them. And the game today was, if you just look at the box score, it was not nearly that close. They basically only scored any points because of Packers turnovers. Love threw a pick. There was a muff punt that the Texans recovered.
Who almost scored 0 points?
The Texans.
Stroud. I can't do it.
CJ Stroud. 10 for 21. 86
Oh, I don't
yards.
want the Gruden. I want the Gus Johnson.
Stroud.
DK, who is your Oppenheimer I Am Become Death award for the player who went nuclear?
I'm going to go with Brock Bowers.
Wow.
He's already like the best tight end in the NFL 7 weeks in.
Well, Pitts. But yeah.
Yeah. After Kyle
Pitts is actually kind of back right now.
We'll get to that.
I don't want to say it, but he's been really good lately. Bowers had a casual 10 catches for 93 yards today. He leads tight ends in catches and yards this year, 47 for 477 yards. He only has 1 touchdown, or otherwise he would be like the runaway tight end 1 in fantasy. Right now he's the tight end 2 behind Kittle, I believe, who scored a bunch of touchdowns. So, but I mean, just matching the eye test with what he's done so far, like he has a 25% team target share. Austin pointed this out. Highest ever for a rookie tight end, weeks 1 through 7. So like what he's doing is unprecedented. I feel like we say that a lot, but it shouldn't lose any value. What he's doing is unprecedented because there's been a lot of like really good rookie pass catchers, Puka Nacua, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, all these guys. But I feel like that shouldn't water it down. Like what we're seeing from Brock Bowers is pretty sick.
He's the focal point of the offense.
He's like the Malik Neighbors, but just for tight ends.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. I mean, so Brock Bowers is on pace, I believe, to have the most catches of a rookie ever, except for Puka Nacua. And that's not a tight end record. That's just that's a pass catching record.
Yeah.
And
last year he was like on pace to tie Puka. Sorry, last week. I haven't checked it this week, but I think after 10 catches today, he's probably doing fine.
Sometimes
Bowers is easily the best tight end in fantasy going forward.
Sometimes I feel bad for really good rookies on really bad teams because I'm like, by the time the team gets good, you're going to be like 4 years into your career.
Yeah.
Like we're wasting so much valuable time with Malik Neighbors and with.
That's why we have
Brock
fantasy football,
Bowers.
Craig.
Yeah, I guess so. I hope that fulfills Brock.
Yeah. It doesn't. I can tell you right now. I can tell you right now. From what I know of Brock, which is not a lot, but he doesn't talk a lot.
You don't think he plays fantasy?
He lives and breathes ball. All he cares about is football. It's probably not enough.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Brock Bowers is like, you know what? At least I delivered for my fantasy guys.
Maybe the Jets will trade for Brock Bowers.
Yeah, that would
be
fix
the
it.
difference.
Yeah.
So my Oppenheimer is just the Lions.
Yeah.
Jameer Gibbs, number 1 running back on the day.
Yep.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, the number 1 receiver on the day. And then, so Gibbs had 116 yards, 2 touchdowns. Amon-Ra had 112 yards and a touchdown. Lions beat the Vikings 31-29. DK, I keep thinking now about what you said about the Lions. The Lions are the most aesthetically pleasing offense to watch in years.
Mm-hmm. It's just like when you watch it, it's like when you watch their offense, they're doing, it's like poetry in motion. There's guys like rolling out. He's throwing over the middle field and they're catching it without even slowing down whatsoever and just continuing to run. It's like, it looks like a video game almost just because everything is so well orchestrated with them. And they have a combination of brute force and pure speed. And the play calling is always immaculate. Like Jameer Gibbs had this run today where he broke like 3 guys' ankles. It was crazy. Just like, he does like a little hesitation move and then he just cuts upfield and the guy like runs past him. He did that like 2 times on the same run. And Goff was like incredible. We were like into the 3rd quarter. He still hadn't had an incompletion again.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're just like, their offense clicks in so many different ways. Good offensive line, good skill players. I mean, David Montgomery had a fumble 6 today. That was like the one bad thing that happened, but otherwise, they're just so much fun to watch.
They kind of feel a little bit like what the Niners have been the last 2 years. Like
Yeah.
Yes.
Like with like the kind of like the diversity of what they can do to you. They can kind of be ground and pound. They could also air it out. They have like the yards after the catch guys.
Mhm.
They play really hard. They're fast, and everything looks so smooth and easy. Like that. When it used to be like, oh my God, Purdy found Ayuk and there's nobody in
Just
the
wide open.
frame except
Yeah.
Brandon Ayuk. That's not what it's like with Amon-Ra St. Brown or Jameson Williams or whoever. So yeah, they seem like the new team that has it all.
Also, the other thing that you pointed out today, Craig, is they have like the perfect skill play or role players
Yeah.
for the skilled positions. Like somehow Tim Patrick ended up on this team, and he's like always just making plays for them whenever they need one.
Yeah, he's their new Reynolds.
Yeah, and Khalil or
Josh Reynolds.
Khalif Raymond, just tons of speed, kind of plays his role perfectly.
They're like the sitcom that has like every type of character. It's like
Well,
they have the big bruising Sam Laporte
Yes.
at tight end. They have the speed guys. Jameer Gibbs at running back with his partner in Montgomery. You have Jameson Williams and slot merchant Amon-Ra St. Brown.
And they're all
George
such
Pickens' words.
But they're all such different people. I think the Lions are the easiest team to root for in professional sports in my entire life.
Well, a lot of them are good stories too, right? Like
That's the thing. Like
Yeah.
they're all like Jared Goff cast
Yeah.
aside by the Los Angeles Rams and immediately like cucked, basically. Like, you know what I mean? Matt Stafford just takes the DK looks to Craig like we should cut that from the show. But like Stafford takes the Rams,
I have
goes
no
to the Super
problem
Bowl.
with that. That's
David
fine.
Montgomery, I think, is incredibly easy to root for. Amon-Ra St. Brown, like this. His dad's a world bodybuilding champion who grew up speaking like 4 languages, like, and who's a 3rd-round pick who can name 20 receivers taken ahead of him. Like Sam
I
Laporte.
think he's later than that.
Oh yeah,
4th round, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
4th.
Yeah.
Like just every player on the. You mentioned like just a random guy, Tim Patrick, like the 5th receiver on this team, 4th receiver, just basically was this really really low drafted player in the Broncos who was given a contract extension and was supposed to be like, hey, you get to be a part of this team in 20, and then like gets Klay Thompson like ACL into an Achilles or Achilles into an ACL, and like 4 years later is now a role player and a Super Bowl contender. Like there's so many, like they have the characters to your point of like if Netflix was making a show about a football team that won the Super Bowl, it would be the Detroit Lions led by Dan Campbell. Like it's Meathead Ted Lasso, like the whole thing. They're like, I don't know. They're so easy to root for. And also Dan Campbell, the opposite of Bobby Slowick. Dan Campbell doesn't coach scared. That's what I'm talking about. Like that they started this game going for a fake punt on 4th and 7, and it didn't work, and it was a stupid play. Why would you have pre-snap motion on a fake punt? Like everyone's just thinking what's going on. But you know what? They're not afraid of anything, and I respect that.
Agreed.
It's so over, we're so back. Craig.
Anthony Richardson, it might be over. It might be over.
God.
Couple stats from the day. So they somehow beat the pathetic Dolphins 16-10, but it wasn't really because of anything the Colts are doing offensively. Anthony Richardson has had 10 or less completions in 3 of 4 starts this year.
Oh my God.
I was just looking at his fantasy points from passing. Obviously, he's a good runner, but his fantasy points from passing. He is second to last in the league per game of just fantasy points from passing. He's averaging 6 points a game throwing the football in fantasy, behind only Will Levis. He has the worst off-target percentage in the league. He is completing barely over half of his passes, 53% of his passes. Some of the quarterbacks who have been below that mark through 9 games of their careers since 2010, below 53.5% of their passes. Deshaun Kaiser, Trace McSorley, Ryan Mallett, remember him? He was like 6'9". Malik Willis, Ryan Lindley, shouts out SDSU, Jimmy Clausen, Tim Tebow, John Skelton, Blaine Gabbert, Josh Allen, Nathan Peterman,
Slip that one in.
Bryce Petty, and Case Keenum.
Do you guys remember
That's
Shaq?
an all-time terrible list, except for
Do you
Josh
remember
Allen.
We're playing a slot machine, hoping this guy turns into Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Think of in your head Shaq shooting free throws. That is what 53% looks like.
Yeah.
Like that's what Shaq was shooting. I will just say this about it. This is where I will defend Anthony Richardson.
Okay.
What was his DK? What was your comp and a lot of people's comp for Anthony Richardson coming in the draft?
It was Shaq.
It was It was Shaquille O'Neal. So
I actually
take some
try to
time.
remember. I don't
It
know.
was Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Josh
Sure.
Allen's from
I'll look it up, but that sounds right.
Josh Allen. It's not like, oh yeah, I didn't see coming out of the draft. I didn't see Josh Allen entering his 3rd season as being a good NFL quarterback. Josh Allen, between year 2 and year 3, had the biggest jump in completion percentage for any quarterback ever. He went like 55% Shaq from the free throw line to almost 70%, like almost leading the league on one of the highest records, one of the highest marks ever. And I'll say this, this is Anthony Richardson's rookie year, functionally speaking. And to be totally honest, I think we can be concerned, but giving up on Richardson before 2026 is a huge mistake.
They're not going to give up on him, and
Yeah.
you can't, like you said.
No, but the Colts can't. Like, but we can.
Yeah, I mean,
We shouldn't, but
it does feel like we say this a lot, but like Josh Allen ruined a lot of quarterbacks and GM's brains because they're going to try to recapture that lightning in a bottle.
Right,
it's the one great comedian spawns 10,000.
Yeah,
bad
and it's
comedians.
like you're not going to find a lot of Josh Allens out there. So there's a decent chance that 3 years from now, Anthony Richardson is still kind of doing this.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, wow, we're kind of in no man land right now because he's clearly so talented, but he also sometimes like can't hit Michael Pittman on a 3-yard out.
Yeah. DK, it's so over. We're so back.
It's so over. We're so back. Along those lines, quarterbacks suck again. We had like a week or two of good offense.
Okay.
Quarterbacks were awful today.
Yeah. Stroud. Stroud.
Is it over for
It's
quarterbacks?
like terrible when Stroud is bad.
Yeah, wait, it's over for quarterbacks to you. Say it. Commit.
No, it's not over.
What
It's not
is
over.
happening outside? Fireworks? Yeah. There's fireworks going on in LA right now.
Do you think we
Dodgers.
can hear
It's
that?
Dodgers. It's got to be
Oh,
Dodgers.
yeah. The Dodgers are going to the World
We're
Series.
like 15 minutes from the stadium, so that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
What? Shouts out to the Dodgers. Plucky team.
Yeah.
down on their
Underdog
luck,
story.
Underdogs.
I saw a tweet
They
today.
did.
No one believed we could do it.
Their star players making what, $2 million a year?
I saw
Impressive.
a tweet today about Yankees Dodgers going to the World Series. This is baseball is a great sport to introduce children to because it shows you that over time, money and evil prevail.
Dodgers Yankees. Great. And they beat the Mets, who actually had the
Also,
highest payroll in the league.
Yeah, can I also I have to get in here with I'm stepping on Lucille Bluth. I don't understand the stat line. I won't respond to it award. But I will just shout out Otani.
Lots of fireworks.
Dude, so many
They're going
fireworks.
nuts.
Oh
It's
my
just-
God.
They don't understand that some people record podcasts. at
So
night.
How dare they?
I'm going to give them a noise complaint.
are the Dodgers like outside? Is that like I don't know, parade?
Is Ohtani here?
No. But Otani's last 23 at bats with runners in scoring position.
Oh, yeah. He's like,
Otani is 18 for 23 in runners in scoring position. So his average is 783. Not his OPS,
Right.
not his slugging percentage. His average with runners in scoring position is 783.
it's like, wouldn't that
It's
be?
like
It's like
peak-
the highest
just like-
completion percentage in the league right now,
Dude,
probably.
He's better with runners in scoring. He's twice as good as runners in scoring position as Anthony Richardson is completing passes,
Yeah.
basically.
This is
Hitting
like
a
peak
baseball.
Barry Bonds, like fear factor.
And
Anyway.
he pitches. Well,
He also pitches.
will again. Do you guys,
But yeah,
how long, if you could live forever, how long,
I plan to.
with
why do
modern
you think
science,
he's drinking poppy?
Yeah, that's why he's worried about the
I
gut
don't know.
biome.
I don't know what's going to be.
Why do you
because
think
of
he's
the
drinking
coffee.
raw milk?
Raw milk over here.
I don't drink
Fucking
raw
live-
milk.
You're gonna
I
live
tried it
very.
one time.
Somebody-
The amount of- you tried it one time.
Somebody on Instagram, Craig did a dance in the theater today, and
I did the
posted it
Boomer
to our
Doom dance.
Yeah, and so we posted it to our Instagram and was like, "What is Craig celebrating right now?" And someone posted raw milk sale.
Dude, if
That
I
was a
could,
real head right there.
That got me.
It was
Craig
listening back in
mentioned
June.
raw milk one time on the show. The
I
amount
know.
of doctors who emailed us
Craig,
being like,
stop
all caps,
drinking it.
don't do that, Craig. How long would it take you, though, if you could live at this age forever? How long would it take you to be as good at anything as Shohei Ohtani is at baseball?
I'm pretty close right now as a fantasy player, so a couple years maybe. Right?
Yeah.
Throwing paper balls
Totally.
into trash cans, I'm pretty
Yeah.
good at.
Go, but it's like, Sabrina Ionescu, yeah. Just
I don't
care.
think I
I'm
could
done.
ever get as good as at
No.
baseball.
I mean, it
You
might
don't
be
think
never.
you don't think you could
At
ever get as
anything.
good at baseball?
No, I couldn't get
as the best player ever at baseball.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
If Babe Ruth stopped
maybe if
drinking,
Coach
this
would
would
have
have Ohtani
believed
is.
in me.
Yeah, if Coach didn't hate me, would have gone D1.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So everyone just needs to get a little more serious. We have to do, this is now a serious segment. We have to do fart or shart.
Oh God.
It's kind of a barrage of farts today.
Yeah, a lot of fart. Craig, you want to take over the fart barrage right now?
I don't have the list of the players.
Oh.
Who has that? Who
Yeah,
has the farties?
I'll pull up the farts.
Yeah.
So DK,
Mm-hmm.
we need you to put on your serious analysis hat right now. We're gonna do a little rapid fire farts here with a bunch of receivers.
Fireworks of farts,
And
if you will.
Yeah, the fireworks of farts. And again, Craig, you want to explain the fart or shart?
I feel like we don't need to
You
keep
make me
explaining
do
it.
this every time.
I've been asked.
Look, sometimes when you have an upset stomach and you need to let one out, you don't know what it's going to be. Is it going to be a fart or is it going to be a shart? That's what we are asking today with some players' performance in week 7.
Yeah, something you
A
can get
one-time
away
thing?
with, or something you can't get away with.
Something we should be concerned about.
Mm-hmm.
Cortland Sutton for the Broncos, 0 targets, 0 catches today. Fart or shart?
Thursday.
Fart.
Oh yeah, Thursday.
Fart.
Fart. He's like been their leading target getter in almost every other game. He'll be fine.
Tank Dell, Houston Texans today had 4 targets, no catches, and he dropped a touchdown. Fart or shart for Tank Dell?
That's a fart, but it was really
Big fart.
like
Loud.
sloppy one.
Yeah. I'm more like silenced.
Someone I don't even know where I saw this. I saw a video. And it was like some guy came up and farted, and one of the top comment was, "That's gonna be itchy later."
That's gonna hang around.
I was like, this one, like Tank Dell, that's gonna be itchy later.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like Jim from The Office looking at the camera. Like,
Sorry.
Okay.
all right, Devontae Smith for the Eagles, 2 targets, 1 catch, -1 yards. I think there's nothing funnier than receivers. leaving negative
This
yardage.
one's closer to a sharp because if you look at his splits when AJ Brown is playing, it's all like he's like the wide receiver 40. I think I saw when AJ Brown is playing, and like a top 10 receiver when he's not playing. And as long as AJ Brown is in there, like Hurts is going to be like, fuck it, he's down there somewhere. I'm throwing it up to him. And this makes me worried for like Devontae Smith in fantasy. Like I would feel worried starting him when AJ Brown is playing.
AJ Brown is Ricky Bobby, and Devontae Smith is Cal Naughton.
Yeah.
And as soon as Ricky's out, Cal's winning everything. But when he comes back, he's like, "How if you win, how am I going to win?"
That's
And he's
good.
like,
That's a good
yeah, all
point.
right.
I see
Yeah,
your
yeah.
point. I see your point. Yeah.
All right, Jameson Williams for the Lions, DK, 1 target, 1 catch, -1 yards. Fart or
I didn't
sharp?
see this play. How did he lose 4 yards on it? Was it just like a backwards or just like a swing pass or something?
Yeah.
I don't know. That one's a fart. I think he'll be fine.
Guy just sneezed.
He is. He is. I think he's going to be like a more volatile player than like you probably want because there's just so many targets in this offense and they
Lot
have
of
so
love
many
going
different
around
ways
there.
to beat you. But I think that's more of a fart. So I think Devontae Smith is the only real worrisome one here.
Okay.
So only 1 sharp. All
Yeah.
things considered.
That's not bad, all things considered, yeah. Now we're going to do a little
Thanks for
nicey.
making me do this every week, guys.
Yeah,
I really
no
love,
problem.
I love doing it. Yeah.
The people need to know.
We're
This
going
wasn't my idea.
to do a little new segment here, and it's called, actually, Craig, you have to introduce it.
These are the players that got us feeling really nicey.
Sean Tucker, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who is this guy? Over 100 yards, 9.7 yards a carry. Ric Flair would love you. Wow! Oh!
No, you got to do the Gruden.
18 for 18? I couldn't do that in pregame warm-ups. And he goes, I just love it when a quarterback just shreds the defense. That's what gets me feeling really nicey.
That specifically is what gets me feeling
I just
really
love
nice.
it when a quarterback shredded the defense.
He's kind of like a Happy Gilmore character, John Gruden.
Is
He's like a Chucky doll.
So tell me if I'm wrong. I think Austin actually told us this. His son is the one who made the music.
Yeah, he's the artist, I think, of
And
the song.
it was the name of the song Nicey.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't confirm that. Is that right? Okay,
Yeah,
Austin
that's right.
confirmed. The
Okay.
song is called Nicey.
So, because I was gonna ask, where the fuck is Nicey come from? Is that
Wait,
something that you
the
guys say?
music he plays in the TikToks was made by his son?
Yeah.
Oh my
that
God.
Got me feeling
Wait.
nicey. That's his
Wait,
son.
the strength NFL coach or the one that has nothing going on?
I'm going to guess the latter.
Right.
The one
That makes-
forcing
why don't you
John
do the
Gruden
math?
to
Makes
make
more
TikTok
sense.
videos in a basement.
Once I said it out loud, I feel like I
With the
Was
Johnson
that
out.
rhetorical or yeah?
as soon as it left my mouth, I was like, that
Probably not the
feels-
guy coaching
Yeah, probably.
football.
Oh my god.
Just wanted to, you never know.
Yeah.
Anyway, the guy I think got me feeling nicey. Brian Thomas, receiver for the Jaguars. 5 catches, 89 yards, and a touchdown. He's the number 2 receiver in full PPR today, or just this
He's
week.
good.
So yeah,
Craig,
Brian,
in Craig's words, I've seen enough.
I've
Yeah.
seen enough. No, so he's
Stop the
legit.
tape.
And again, first of all, I can't believe this LSU team of Jaden Daniels and
Yeah.
Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas is
I know,
actually
my God.
like the 1B to the Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Joe Burrow to 1A. Like, it's kind of nuts that they did this twice in 5 years.
Seriously.
But so Brian Thomas, clearly the best receiver on the Jaguars. He's getting touchdowns where he's wide open. He's having contested catch, deep touchdowns. He can kind of do everything. He's fast. He's long. Like, he's not like bully ball like A.J. Brown and Nico Collins, but he's like the thin version of that. He's so much fun. And then I couldn't believe this. This is, Austin sent me this. The only players with more yards per route run as a rookie in their first 7 weeks are Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and Puka Nacua. And then it's Brian Thomas.
Austin just like taking down the power grid again with these stats.
Yeah, he's killing the
How's
amount
he-
of
where's he
Amazon
finding these
rainforest
stats?
that's
Yeah, he's
dying to
digging
get these
deep into
stats.
the earth.
Just the amount of processing power it takes to make all these
But literally,
lists.
The amount of cobalt
I
he's
know.
mining.
dude, that's a huge,
Yeah.
important mineral to the future of the
It's
world.
like
yeah.
starting wars
Isn't all the Tesla
worldwide.
batteries are cobalt, right?
Oh, I don't know about that, but yeah,
Oh.
we need cobalt. We do need cobalt.
You know, I bet we're all experts on this. We
Let's
should talk
dive in.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's kind of
China has
Let's
a lot of
speculate.
cobalt. We're looking for more. I think we just found a bunch of lithium under some farm in Pennsylvania.
Is that right?
We?
I think. Well, the royal.
The royal
It's like,
Are we? Yeah.
we?
Well, I guess we fought off the royals, the Democratic we. DK, who did you have for your
Got me
nicey?
feeling nicey.
Yeah. Can you do the Gruden for us?
It's got me feeling nicey.
Shredded the defense. I love that part.
Hold on, I gotta pull up his
Wait,
stats
do
because
the-
I want to do the stats.
What's the other sound he makes?
Who?
Yeah. It's like
And
you're
that's,
rowing a
that's
boat.
in the
like,
song.
Yeah.
The song has a who, and then he coordinates with it.
Oh,
He
that
synchronizes
makes
with the
sense.
who.
18 to 28, 207 yards, 2 touchdowns. Geno Smith.
We're only doing this for Austin. He's just laughing in the back. He fucking loves
Yeah.
this.
No one listening likes this or knows what we're talking about. All
I
right.
know. I really urge you. You have to watch the video.
Yeah,
It'll be funny.
moving on.
you.
We should actually just like put the video in the pod description.
Yeah, we probably should.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
play. Yeah. Intrusive thoughts.
That's all you're gonna give me on Geno?
We probably. Well, that's all Gruden does. He reads the box score and really loudly.
That's true. Anyway, Geno Smith.
You gotta
Yeah,
end it with a who, and then we'll move on.
Who?
Yeah.
All right, intrusive thoughts. My intrusive thought today was that Jaden Daniels is a system quarterback, and I just watched Marcus Mariota look like Randall Cunningham.
What the hell is going on with the Commanders?
Dude, I was so nervous. I'm sure people who had Terry McLaurin felt the same way. Jaden Daniels goes out, and I was like, well, we're back to what Terry McLaurin's used to. He had
For a little bit, it felt like that too.
totally.
Yeah.
McLaurin had 3 yards when Jaden Daniels went down. He finished with 98
Dude.
from Mariota. Is it Cliff?
So, I
mean,
really,
I don't think so.
What happened in Thailand?
Thailand. All right. So this stat, if you just look at points per drive through 7 weeks in the entire 21st century for teams, number one in points per drive through 7 weeks is the 2000 Rams, the greatest show in turf Rams, who had just won the Super Bowl.
Is this another Austin stat?
No, this is me.
Okay.
I can also kill the rainforest. The number two points per drive is the 2007 New England Patriots that went 16-0. Number 3 is this year's Washington Commanders.
What the hell?
And then number 4 behind them is the 2018 Chiefs, which is Mahomes' first year when he threw the 50 touchdowns.
DK, you're a smart guy. What's going on? What's going on? It's not like the offensive line is
I don't
amazing.
know.
It's not like the
It-
weapons are fantastic.
And it was obviously it was the Panthers today, and it needs to be
Yeah.
said the Panthers are like the worst team in football. But you know
You said
what?
through
You should
7 weeks. It's been 7 games.
That's the thing. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Also,
what genuinely?
Well,
what's up?
first off, I think most of this is Jaden Daniels, like the first 6 weeks and whatever and change because he left. What was it after the first drive in this game?
Yeah, early with a rib injury. it looked
But like the first play from scrimmage is like rips off a 50-yard run. Like you didn't think they practiced the like whatever scrape exchange or however they're planning on defending the read option. Like how does that first play of the game 50-yard like just really basic read option run?
we don't talk enough.
It's like wild.
We don't talk enough how demoralizing it is for a team to do their bread and butter stuff immediately and it works perfectly.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You practice that all week.
They're like, we'll get like 3 or 4 on this and like be like moving down, ready to have like an easy second or third and short or whatever, and it's like 50 yards.
It's like Boise State when Ashton Genty takes the first run for like 80 yards. You're like,
Like,
what
what'd
do
you
think
do
they
all
spent-
week?
Yeah.
Truly. I think it's a combination of a
There's
few
one
things.
guy's name on the bulletin board.
Yeah,
in the
right.
locker
He's
room.
just standing-
Ashton
He's
Genty.
the guy that's standing there creepily behind the line.
like a psychopath.
It's like staring at you. But yeah, no, I think to answer your question, like earnestly, I think it's a combination of things. Number one, Jaden Daniels is legit. Like he's passing all over the field. He's hitting all 3 levels, passing to the middle of the field. He's unlocked their passing game. I think their run game is really good. Like that's an underrated part of this. Like
Yeah.
Brian Robinson has been on fire. I think the stuff they do with like him and Eckler is really smart. Obviously, what Jaden Daniels brings to the run game as with his legs is incredible. What they're doing on 3rd and 4th downs, probably not sustainable, but right now that's like why they're so good because they're converting on 3rd and 4th down so at such a high rate, like a historic rate. So I don't think it's sustainable for them to do what they're doing. Obviously, like blowing people out by 35 points every week, but I mean, I think the different variables together makes this team a really good offense. And I don't know if like Cliff figured it out at some point or what, but I think his play calling obviously has a little bit to do with it too, like his sequencing and everything.
My
But it's
intrusive-
weird. It's wild. I don't really know how to explain.
My intrusive thought is that maybe blocking field goals is like the next untapped cheat code in the NFL. Like if the Steelers are flirting with greatness here, blocking kicks, and they got called on a bullshit penalty today that should not have called, but they blocked another kick today. Two kicks. One got called back.
Right.
But there's like there's like a handful of plays in the NFL that I still feel like that you can go another level to. You know, it's like
right.
Figuring out onside kicks. It's like the hook and ladder, which people are starting to flirt
Two
with.
quarterbacks.
You guys made fun of me when I said that in 40 years, like most offenses will have a second level of option built into it.
It's like rugby.
And then
The
literally
two-quarterback
the
thing?
next day, an offense was like college was running like a
Maybe you're
two-quarterback
right.
play.
Maybe you're right. I'm still skeptical about that, but maybe you're right. The hook and ladder, I think, is huge in being incorporated more. I still think like punting. I still don't understand why they just don't teach Anthony Richardson to punt. But
Can't
But
do
dude,
two
the
things.
punters can't even kick. I can't get over that.
you tell me
What are
Anthony Richardson can't punt?
well, he can just like 53% of
You
the
trying
time.
to tell me
Like,
Jesus Christ couldn't hit a curveball?
Come on.
not if it's from Ohtani.
But yeah, it just feels like, I just love it when a coach like Andy Reid does this type of stuff where he's just like, I'm going to get good at something weird that like
Well,
is usually a trick play. I'm just going to make that a part of my
did you
offense
see the
now.
play they ran today? They
Who,
had
the Chiefs?
the Chiefs, yeah.
With Wentz?
This
Yeah.
was a trick play. Like I felt like
This
there's
was-
a trick here. Like what
This
am I?
was going to be my Lucille Bluth. I don't understand the play and I won't respond to it. But they had Patrick Mahomes next to Carson Wentz. More fireworks are going off. Next to Carson Wentz.
It's like, God, you just won the World Series in 2020.
Well, no one. If you win a World Series and no one shows up to the parade, did you win?
Did you win the World Series?
Sorry, they had Patrick Mahomes in the backfield in a 3-point stance,
Mhm.
right next to him, which means hand in the dirt. Right next to him, Carson Wentz, hand in the dirt. And then I think on the left side, it was like Kelsey or somebody. I can't remember who it was. No, it was Hunt. And they ran like a weird, like sort of like reverse play where they did like an inside handoff. One guy was going across the formation. Carson Wentz was running behind like a lead blocking Patrick Mahomes. I don't know what they almost scored on it.
It feels like something Shipwreck Kelly ran in
Shipwreck
1934.
Kelly.
Yeah, 100%.
But I have,
You know?
I have a serious question. We don't think of Andy Reid this way, but when Andy Reid puts Carson Wentz in a 3-point stance to score on the Niners, that's a fuck you to Kyle
A
Shanahan,
massive
right?
fuck you.
That's so
Do
insulting.
you guys remember when they did the ring around the
Yeah.
they got in the
It's just
huddle?
like,
Was it in the
fuck you,
Super Bowl and
buddy.
they like all did a
Oh,
little
was it in
circle?
a Super Bowl when they did that?
No, that was it was
that a regular
was that
season
the
game?
Raiders? I want to say it was against the division opponent. Was it the playoffs?
I thought it was in this. I could be totally
No,
misremembering.
no. I think it was Austin. Was that the Raiders? He's not paying attention.
He doesn't know.
He's not listening.
Don't you think it's kind of cool
he's
that
running a search right
He's
now.
on TikTok.
are Andy Reid and Spags the two combined age oldest play callers in the league?
Yes, I actually think the sneaky huge advantage for the Chiefs is that no one wants to hire Steve Spagnuolo for like that. What's it called? Age bias. If Steve Spagnuolo was 40,
Steve Spagnuolo.
oh, everyone calls him Spagnola.
Brady.
It's Spagnuolo, but
Well,
like there's
Brady-
no
Brady
age.
called him Spagnuolo.
Brady-
like he's
Brady-
never fucking
Along with
played against him.
Juju Schuster-Smith and McCole Hardeman.
Hardeman.
Schuster-
He said Hardeman twice.
Schuster-Smith is harder to say
Slipped
than
an extra
Smith-Schuster.
syllable in there.
Smith-Schuster rolls off the tongue. How did you get to Schuster-Smith?
Brady
Juju Schuster-Smith.
He clearly speaks exactly like someone so hot, rich, famous, and successful. He's never had to learn a name in 10 years.
He just knows numbers.
But isn't that his
Yeah, he just knows numbers.
I thought it was like Brady was the type of guy where like he'd learn everybody's name at the start of the
No,
year.
he
all the
learns a
rookies.
face and a number. You think he's going to learn a name?
You don't think he was learning the rookies' names in the locker room? I thought that was like the sign of a good leader.
Dude, he probably remembers
the sign
a
of a
letter.
good leader is winning.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd learn. I bet you he didn't learn.
Dude,
a lot
where
of
they're,
those
where they're
names.
just like, oh, we're going to have fun with Brady. He's like, oh, I didn't know winning Super Bowls wasn't fun. Sorry, guys. I'm like, no, but even Devin White, I think
Got
you
a
call him
point.
D. Like, he probably remembers letters. Like, you got the letters in Juju mostly right.
Right, yeah.
But not the order, you know?
Yeah.
You know what? Honestly,
Steve Spagnuolo. What would it say?
everyone calls him
Spagnuolo.
Spagnola and Hardeman. And, yeah, he's adding letters. Brady's, he's a mess. Also, the not calling refs out really did get to me today because there was like a pass interference penalty that's questionable. And then Brady said, he's like, oh, yeah, what did you think? And like,
He literally can't.
like he had
Like
an
hot
opinion.
potato.
He had an opinion, started talking, remembered he can't say anything and threw it. I'm like, this is going to be so weird.
I'm legally not allowed to
Yeah.
comment on that. But what I was going to say was like, it's kind of funny that the oldest play call in the league and like combined the two oldest play callers in the league are kind of like the ones who are the most frisky and take risks. We were talking about Bobby Slowick being 35 years old and being super, safe. And yet Andy Reid, I'm sure it's like he's secure with his job. He knows he's not going to lose it. He can kind of like do whatever he wants. But it is kind of cool to see a guy who's in his like early, mid-60s Andy Reid is in, and he's just like having fun out there still.
But this is why I think the Chiefs have won the Super Bowl against the Niners. I think that Kyle Shanahan is the new Andy Reid. Kyle Shanahan's a genius, but he's tortured because he doesn't really. I still at the core, he has to figure something out. And Andy Reid just, he made 4 straight NFC Championship games, and he had to leave the Eagles, go to the Chiefs, and he figured himself out. And there's a beauty in getting older to knowing who you are and knowing what you will and will not put it. Well, no reason.
Gesturing to
Craig.
No reason.
He was, but I didn't notice, and now I did.
Well, I'm just saying, when you get old, you know what you want and what you don't
want. You get
want.
older, not old.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying. But Andy, there's a certain decisiveness to actually Andy Reid knows how hard it is, and we're not gonna we're gonna go for it on 4th and 1. I'm gonna do this. We're gonna go and take this right now. And there's stuff that the Niners don't do, and I think that there's a professional near-death experience that Andy Reid's had that there's a freedom to it.
It's like what's dead can't be
yes,
can never die.
What is it? What is dead may never die. And that's kind of how they coach. And there's still a fear, this fear of failure the Niners live with, and it's like a chain like a chain ball they're attached to.
You know what I always think of whenever Andy Reid pulls out one of these plays from his ass. Do you remember in The Waterboy, Henry Winkler?
Mm-hmm.
He's got his notebook of plays or whatever that the coach steals. I don't remember the exact plot. I haven't watched the movie in a little bit.
Yeah,
but
me neither.
It's he's got all these plays. He's like a genius with all these plays. I'm this is like Andy Reid in the summer, just coming up with all these plays.
Yeah.
Didn't he say somebody on the staff at the stadium gave him a play that he ran?
A security
custodian.
guard?
Yeah, something like that.
That's great.
DK.
He's got good plays.
Did you have an intrusive thought today? Well, obviously you did, but something you're going to share.
I did have an intrusive thought. Fantasy football kind of sucks.
We're at that part of the year.
Yeah,
it is. I was
Week 7.
listening to Bill Simmons' pod the other day, and he said something that simultaneously made me laugh, but also resonated really deeply. It was something along the lines of, I don't know the exact quote. It was fantasy football just continues to find new ways to make me feel bad about myself. And I was thinking about it. I'm fantasy football can be devastating, but the part where it's it makes me feel bad about myself. I'm stupid. Why did I not know that fucking Jameson Williams was going to have -4 yards today? Well, you're an idiot. Why did you not know that? But I found myself thinking about that a lot today. I had my first place team. I'm in a league,
Flex.
as you know.
I had to sneak that in there.
Well, wait. My first place team
set up
2 players with 0 points today, and this is the league where if you get a 0, you have to shotgun a beer. What?
I want someone here to get 2 beers right now.
Well, maybe
so you
next
had
time.
2 guys put up zeros?
Andy Dalton had negative points because in our league, pick 6 counts as extra bad.
If we acquire 2 beers, would you shotgun here?
Not right this minute.
In 10 minutes?
No.
Okay.
No.
Just checking.
Maybe tomorrow.
It's too much equipment. Too much
We'll do it at the office
equipment.
tomorrow with everybody.
Yeah.
I have 48 hours to do so my point is now I have to I'm on a work trip.
Yeah.
I'm a very professional person. Hi Fitz, we're not getting a beer tonight.
No. I'm saying write that down for tomorrow.
Okay. And now I have to worry about figuring out how I'm going to shotgun 2 beers.
Well,
and
you get
I feel
the key
terrible about
and
myself. Why did I start Andy Dalton?
I think it's more. Why did you come up with
also
a shotgun
Tank Dell.
rule?
Also
No, that's a
Tank Dell
good
had
question.
0.
Yeah,
That's a
Tank
good
Dell and Waddle and Stroud it just kills you.
All
Fantasy football sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. This fantasy football does suck a lot.
It
It's
just
really
makes
dumb.
me feel bad about myself.
Yeah, me too. All right, best plays of the day. The Bijan Robinson catch where he kind of caught it like he was doing ballet and then he immediately juked the guy out and it was kind of incredible. Mahomes' 33-yard scramble where he basically shoved Fred Warner to the ground, juked out their other guy who thought he was going to go out of bounds and then just ran to the goal line.
No, that's kind of a loophole. He ran through a loophole.
Did he really fake going out or did he just stop and the other guy kept running?
because
I don't
teams
know.
are- it's 'cause
Everyone's
players are
afraid to
afraid
hit
to hit
quarterbacks
him,
going out of
yeah.
bounds. If you watch the rest of the Niners in that play, they all stopped as if he was running out of bounds.
I have an idea. Don't fucking stop.
No, but the
They've
point is
been
they're afraid
conditioned
they're
to
going
stop.
to get a penalty because they hit him at the sideline.
He's mastered it, but it's still kind of annoying.
It's
I
like
think that-
it's like the fakes. Remember the Kenny Pickett fake slide?
It's Harden's swipe through thing. It was yeah, technically that's legal. He figured it out. It's annoying, but it works, and you average 35 points a game.
I guess
it's kind
yeah.
of like that, where it's all right, you found a loophole in the system right now, and we need to fix that somehow, but it is working.
I don't think this is some systemic issue. Kenny Pickett faked a slide. Mahomes ran to the sideline, stopped, and kept going.
To be honest, I feel like those are the same thing. Faking a slide and faking going out of bounds.
People are like,
Both-
Mahomes gets all the calls. Mahomes in week 1 had 2 feet on the ground, and the Ravens out of bounds got shoved to the ground and didn't get a flag.
That's
and I'm
totally
like, all
fair.
right,
That
like,
never
what are we talking
happens.
about?
That's kind
All
of the
right.
exception. But that
I don't think it's like
so it's
I don't,
not the
I don't
play of
have
the day,
any,
is what we're saying.
I don't have any like big.
it was sick.
There's no like big takeaway. I just think like they held up because they didn't want to get a penalty.
Idiots.
That's all.
No, that's fine. No, I get it. All right. Honestly, the best play of the weekend was Juan Soto's at bat to win the ALCS. Just gonna throw it out there. I know you guys baseball. You guys are both just looking at your laptops, hoping I move
I've
on.
been watching baseball. I've been watching the playoffs. I actually didn't see that part of the game, but I did see a clip. Very cool. Very cool.
4th series clinching
Go
extra innings
Yankees.
home run with 2 outs in baseball history.
Very cool.
I also
Wait, what was that? Say that again?
in the playoffs, extra innings,
Uh-huh.
2 outs, a home run to clinch it to end a series. 4th ever.
And that was right. Didn't the Guardians have another cool thing where it was like 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th and they hit a game-tying home run in game 4?
Yeah, and then they lost. But yeah.
Yeah.
So I also have to shout out that the Yankees did the literal George Costanza, and they literally asked to wear
Yeah.
from the episode. There's an episode of Seinfeld where George Costanza, who is, in case people don't know this, there's a whole plot of Seinfeld where George Costanza becomes the assistant general manager for the Yankees, and he's like, the Yankees should wear cotton. And then they do, and they love it, and then they dry them, and they shrink, and the Yankees all end up like their pants all split on TV.
That's such a Seinfeld thing.
Yankees literally, the players like asked to wear the old school 70s cotton uniforms, and now they're just like the best team in baseball again. So just throwing out, shout out Costanza.
Pre-shrunk though.
All right. Worst play of the day. This is very easy. 4th and 2, 11 seconds left in the Dolphins-Colts game. They're down 6. Tim Boyle throws 20 yards out of bounds.
We're just doing this to torture Carlos.
There's a giant white strip of like 10 yards wide outside the sideline, and he didn't even hit that part, and it was 4th and 2. Just going to leave that one there.
Play it
And
safe.
And also the Jets coach dropping his challenge flag by accident, and then it leading to a Jets touchdown. I think I have to throw that one out there as well.
That was amazing.
Those are bad plays. Arthur Smith
Those are
Award.
bad plays.
Arthur Smith Award for coach that pissed you off. We mentioned Bobby Slowick. I mean, the Texans just kind of settling for like a 1-point lead with 80 seconds left was just, they deserved to lose, just karmically. And then also Gerard Mayo calling out Jalen, like the Patriots looking unprepared in all 3 phases of the ball in London. And then Gerard Mayo just decides to like call out Jalen Polk again.
You think that Mayo's going to make it the whole season if they continue on this track?
Because it'd look embarrassing to Bob Kraft that his not only handpicked successor, the one who was written contractually and couldn't make it a full season. Like Bob Kraft's done too much of an ego tour to do that. But this is why Bill Belichick never talked to the media.
Yeah, he does keep saying things he doesn't need to say.
Yeah, he's a talent.
You should just like
I
say less.
just feel like when your team is bad, you need to put it on you. It's
Yes.
never a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
look when, like, if your team is good and you lose a close game and a player fucked up, you can be like, I need more from my team. When your team is good and they like you and they believe in you, and when you say something like that, it means something. When you're like 1-5 and terrible and you're a new coach, saying that stuff doesn't resonate the same way.
Yeah, I'm not. So, I mean, I don't think I'm just like parroting Bill Simmons, and I think that I've disagreed enough with Bill's, like Bill on his show. Having said that, at the Spotify office, literally sitting in Bill Simmons' office, but Bill did have a perfect tweet about Gerard Mayo. He said, "Hey Mayo,"
He like tagged him, didn't he?
yeah, he said, "Hey Mayo, we need." So Gerard Mayo said, "Gerard Mayo."
At Gerard.
Yeah.
Wake up.
Gerard, the Patriots. Also, Gerard Mayo's the Patriots coach,
I
by the
hope
way.
you see this actually.
Gerard Mayo said, we need more from Jalen Polk. We need more concentration. He'll be a good player in the league. Just got to continue to work at it. Bill said, hey, Mayo, we actually need more from you. Why is your D worse every week? Why did Polk jump offside on a PAT to set up a did Jalen Polk jump offsides on an extra point to set up a 2-point conversion? Did Jalen Polk give up a punt return touchdown? Did Polk call all those shitty run plays? You're only good at throwing shade at everyone else, including the previous coach. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
It's really weird. The Pats are just, and I never realized until that tweet that Mayo really is just an extension of the Kraft weird ego tour that they threw Belichick under the bus, but it's weird.
Can I sneak in an Arthur Smith award? Antonio Pierce kicking a field goal down 8 with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left.
I wrote down here, Antonio Pierce might end up winning the naming rights for this category at some point.
Yeah.
This is a second like insanely cowardly decision because earlier I think it was like week 1 or 2, they punted in
From like the 39.
in the other team's territory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and didn't get the ball back or something. It was,
Yeah.
he just keeps having these like insanely conservative decisions. Like, come on, man! Like, what's your record right
You
now?
suck.
Yeah,
Then
like,
just
who
go
cares?
for it.
Go for live a little.
Worst referee moment. I actually think this has nothing to do with the NFL this weekend. Number one, the Texas-Georgia game.
Yeah.
Where the horrible pass interference call where if you didn't watch the game, basically, there's a few boxes to check for the criteria of pass interference. They called on the defense. 0 of the criteria for pass interference conceivably applied to the defense, and all of them applied to the offense. And then it was a pick 6. They called it on the defense, pulled it back. So one awful season-shifting play for the entirety of college football. Then all the fans throw the bottles on the field.
Like hundreds and hundreds of bottles.
One kid threw a bottle, and they had to pull it off the field. And then all the monkey see, monkey do with college kids. They all throw it on the field, and then they have to stop the game. Steve Sarkisian, the Texas coach, runs it, is like pleading with them to stop. The refs take this like 5-minute break to huddle.
And pick up all the bottles also.
Pick up, they have to, they have, my assistant does that.
No, I'm saying it took like 10 minutes.
I know, but they had the Texas, all the staff who usually gives the players water bottle, they had to pick it up. The refs huddle, and they're like, you know what? These drunk 19-year-olds might be right. And they reversed the call, which is the only time I've ever felt like, you morons, leave the call wrong. What are you doing? They told all of college football fans in America, throw shit on the field if you like a call. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
And there was no penalty for the fans acting that way.
Yes. It would have been really funny if they were like, undoing the call, but 15 yards on you guys.
Yeah.
So
totally. Like, don't do that again. Here's your slap on the wrist. No, they were like, you know what? We'll just completely give you everything you want.
In a way, you could argue is the dumbest thing any refs have ever done.
Well.
Where they're like, you know what? You threw all that shit at us. Fair.
I see your point.
Yes.
I'd do that too.
Yeah. Also, we just have to shout out that the refs, as a longtime New York Liberty fan, I kind of liked how the refs took the championship away from Minnesota and then gave it to New York. That was cool.
Okay.
That was cool.
Yeah, they decided to not call the most egregious travel I've ever seen in my life, and then a ticky-tack foul on, was it Breonna Stewart? Yeah.
Yeah, that was, I'm not going to lie, I've actually never watched like a playoff game that I was rooting for and I'm not going to pretend like I'm as big a Liberty fan as I am for the New York sports, but I was rooting for Liberty. And I won't pretend, I've never actually watched a playoff important game where I was like, oh, this is bullshit. We're going to win this cool though. But this is fucked up.
Yeah.
That was actually messed up. Yeah, tough for the refs. All right, we mentioned Lucille Bluth. I don't understand the stat line, won't respond to it. We mentioned the Ohtani thing. I also just want to shout out in that game, Sabrina, I call her Sabrina the Witch, but the true, Sabrina Ionescu, the true Kobe disciple.
Oh, yeah.
1 for 19 to win the WNBA Finals.
Shoot or shoot.
1 for 19.
I respect it. Keep shooting.
A goldfish memory, right?
Yeah. That's what you got to do. Do you think she feels like a little bad?
No, they won, and she was doing that thing of like she was freaking out when she won.
She did like the Mutombo RIP thing, like laid in the paint, like hold the ball.
To be honest, I think if I went 1 for 19 and my team won the championship, I think it'd feel a little bit worse.
You should get like a smaller ring.
Yeah.
Like you should.
I don't think I'd be able to just go home and be like, I'm a team player. Like, whatever, we won the game. If I had like my worst shooting performance ever and everybody was pissed at me until we won.
That's probably the worst game she's ever played in her entire life.
Yeah. In terms of shooting, yeah.
Yeah, she had 7 assists. It was, shooting, but she's a scorer.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a whole.
What would you do in that situation? I like to.
I'm just
you stand to the side of the photo in case they want to crop
like,
it out.
Can you even celebrate?
I don't think I'd be able to like set that aside and just enjoy the moment with my teammates. I really don't.
Yeah.
I think most athletes actually don't feel that way.
Process oriented.
You know?
Yeah. Also, just Seahawks cornerback Tariq Woolen streaming. It's put an Instagram up of him streaming of watching like some game. He disagreed with some call, but he just was not watching on anything like official. He was on like meth streams,
illegal stream. Yeah.
And then they called him out on it. He's like, "Look, if it's free, it's for me." I'm like, "All right."
I respect that.
Burn book. So this is we're in daily double here. We're gonna do daily double. You found it. Daily double, daily triple, daily quadruple, because absolutely almost unanimous from everyone contacting us on every platform, which you can email us from ringerfantasyfootball@gmail.com, follow us on Instagram. Unanimous.
You're going to put me in the burn book?
What?
I thought you were going to put me in the burn book.
I wasn't thinking of that, but now maybe.
I didn't know where that was going, and I did creep into my head that you were going to say Danny Kelly for the
Bambi.
Thing.
We'll get to that in a moment.
That's where I thought you were going.
I was going to say Anthony Richardson, but like maybe we should burn you.
Well, when you were just being very clearly on all platforms, it was unanimous. I was like, "Oh God, here."
Oh no, it's Anthony. No, I was going to say Anthony Richardson, but maybe we should burn you.
I mean, I'll go in the burn book.
Richardson,
just put Danny Kelly.
Richardson, I have no problem with that. I wanted to shout out. I guess if we had a unanimous a couple of emails there, but dude, Mahomes. At least
Mahomes is a good one.
At least Anthony Richardson is like, some people are like, yeah, we didn't really know if he was good. He was always a bit of a risk. It was kind of a coin flip. You know,
He was always a high volatility type
Patrick
guy.
Mahomes is the 23rd best quarterback in fantasy.
Ugh.
23rd.
It's crazy to think like, oh, you should cut Mahomes, but like the reality of the Chiefs thing is the Chiefs are a defensive team that wants to kind of run the ball a lot, and like I don't know, Mahomes. I don't know how many games I would be sure he's going to throw over 200 yards for the rest of the season, and
Are Chiefs fans mad at him at this point?
No.
He's 6-0.
They're like
For
the
the first
second.
time in Mahomes'
I
career.
know, which is wild.
Yeah, no. I think they're like, Mahomes is a wizard.
Was that a joke or are Chiefs fans
No.
mad at Patrick Mahomes? I don't know if any group of people has been less mad at anyone ever.
Let's do a poll.
Are you mad at Patrick Mahomes?
Why not?
Chiefs fans only. if you're a Chiefs fan, stop scrolling.
I mean, like in their heart of hearts, are they like, dude, come on, what's going on?
I don't think you could find one.
Oh, come on.
That's
One.
not true. That's
Couldn't find
absolutely
one.
not true.
I'm sure there's some
I
guy
know I
like,
There's
can.
not one.
we're
I
too
know I
reliant
can.
on the defense. We're not going to be able to do it. I'm sure
No,
there's
not
one.
the team. He said Mahomes.
Yeah, no,
You
I know
could-
I
you-
can find one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do it.
We just need. Well, look, 16 people voted for Bambi. There's got to be one that doesn't like Mahomes.
All right, I'm not. We do.
16?
All right, so we're putting Mahomes in the burn book.
Christ.
So on that note,
Wait, do we want to burn Mahomes or AR?
I actually think you're right about Mahomes because you've been playing Mahomes and you took him high. I think it's Mahomes.
And like Richardson's been hurt. You probably picked up Flacco. He was good for 2 weeks.
You're right because it's Patrick Mahomes. Because like you know why you also have to hear about he's undefeated and the Chiefs are good. You're like, but he's killing my team. I think
Mahomes has
is a
been
good
worse than Bo Nix.
one. Yeah, fuck yeah, he's done. He's done. He's done.
Mahomes.
Cook him. Mahomes, you're in the burn book.
Has he really? Bo Nix is ahead of him right now?
Bo Nix,
dude, I
is-
bet Drake May's ahead of him at this point.
Well,
Drake
yeah,
May's
I
had
would play
20
Drake
points a couple
May.
times.
Bo Nix is averaging 14.7 a game. Mahomes 13.7.
Oh, God.
And that's with the run.
Come on.
That's with the running.
Yikes.
On that note, though, we do have to address the controversy from last week's episode where
Was it a controversy or was I
it
just.
became one.
Okay.
So we had an argument. I don't know how we got into it at the end about who is the most famous cartoon ever. And Craig and I were saying,
Because
like,
I called him
SpongeBob.
SquarePants.
Because we were like,
Oh, yeah,
right
it's
now,
totally
who's the most
SquarePants.
famous cartoon right now?
And then DK was like, SpongeBob is not more famous than, you call him SquarePants is not more famous than Bambi.
Worldwide. Yeah.
Right.
Wha-
Sure.
Oh, okay.
The old vote is coming in a clutch for my
Wha-
in my mind. But yeah.
You have to keep waiting for the mail-in ballots.
Yeah. They're slower, you know. They can't get off their ass and go to the polls.
Yeah, so
No,
on
you
that note, Craig, what was the results of the Spotify poll we put out?
I don't have it in front of me, but I remember it vividly. It was
16
Vividly.
votes.
Come on.
so we had 1,600 votes.
Doesn't suffer.
It was not like 16%. You had 16.
Doesn't
We had
period.
1,622 votes, I believe, total. 1% voted for Bambi. So roughly
You did the math. Okay.
So roughly 16 people voted for Bambi. We did put Mickey Mouse in the poll, which we shouldn't have done because I think we all
Yeah.
knew that Mickey Mouse was going to dominate. He
I thought
did.
we said that on the pod that we like knew Mickey Mouse.
Mickey got
Yeah.
77% of the vote. I almost want to redo it. Do
No,
SpongeBob
let's
versus
not redo it.
Bugs Bunny also beat Bambi.
So I want to just shout out quick.
That's fair.
There was a lot of emails.
What do you mean that's fair?
What?
You're okay with Bugs?
I was purely.
Why did you pick
I was-
Bugs then?
I should have.
I was like,
I don't know
Bugs
where
beat
I landed.
Bambi.
I don't
This
actually
was-
even know why I landed on Bambi. I was just picking like the classic cartoons.
Yeah.
This was DK's Sonny moment. I don't know if there's ever been so much disagreement on anything that I have.
I think it's
other
more.
than me
It's not
saying
a
stuff.
Sonny moment. It's the Mbop moment.
Yeah, it's the Mbop moment.
'Cause Sonny
It
used
is.
It
just
actually is
mispronouncing
kind of
things.
similar to the Mbop moment, and he still can't say it. By the way,
Well,
It's hard to start a sentence with You have to like shut down
how
for a
would Gus
second.
Johnson do that?
I can't.
What about Gruden?
Mbop. Hanson
Mbop.
on stage. Okay. One hit wonder. Yeah, we got a lot of emails. I
Still think
I told my
DK.
crew at the bachelor party I was just at. Sadly,
got-
Yeah, again, like
I know.
I
it's
said
all
this like
30-year-olds.
it's a bunch of 30-year-olds will say that, but I'm gonna take the L. I believe everyone.
Our demo.
James, we got an email that the subject line was, quote, I've never heard of Bambi. And the entire email
What?
just was,
How's
I'm
that possible?
The entire email was just, I'm 27.
That was the whole subject of
Right.
the email.
I've
Yeah, that
never
makes
heard
sense.
of Bambi.
Well, like, you know, a lot of people on Earth
There's a
are
lot of
under
old
30
people.
years old.
I know, but there's also a lot of old people.
Yeah, not listening to this show.
Probably.
Yeah.
Not. That's true.
So
They're waiting for the mail-in ballots.
They're coming.
Where are we coming on the,
They're
with
coming.
the polls?
You should start mailing out our polls to people.
Yeah, I'm gonna do fucking.
Like old school
Male
fantasy
pole.
football.
Should pick him up in a car and drive him to the pole. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is clearly like a hanging Chad issue. Something going on. Here.
That, I don't want to break the news to you. That is also super going to date you.
I've said many times I'm older than you guys on the
Okay.
show. I'm not trying to hide that. You guys, you know what the hanging Chad thing was?
No,
I
I
read
don't know
about
that-
it. Literally, I read about it in a book.
I don't know. what
In
that
a
is.
book.
Tell me about it. Teach me.
Actually, I don't.
No, we're not.
I'm
We're
pretty
not
sure
doing
it was the
We're not-
the
no,
Gore
we're not.
Bush
2000.
election.
Yes, it was 2000. It was-
Whatever, doesn't matter.
Okay.
The only thing worse is me knowing this and you don't. But so Chris
Oh,
emailed us
yeah.
and said, I had to pull over my
Motherfucker.
car to write this email.
Fucker.
That was such a sneaky little bar.
No.
That was like Indiana Jones getting the hat before the door shuts.
Yes. This is what I have to work with.
Chris said I had to pull over my car to write this email. Bambi being as big as SpongeBob or Mickey Mouse is a crazy take. Bambi's not even a top 10 Disney movie. Put it this way, in 2019,
Okay.
in 2019, it was said that SpongeBob had sold $13 billion in merch. How much Bambi merch is there?
Well, that's also.
Again, we're moving the goalposts here. I said he's
would
more
say
famous,
the
not more
infrastructure of
popular.
merchandising now is a bit different than when Bambi came out.
All right, fine. Here's a better one. This is an amazing one. This is from
I got
Mickey.
you.
Fame.
Yeah.
This is from Mickey.
Mouse.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. No, Mickey. Do the Gus Johnson Mickey.
You're just saying Mickey.
Yeah, there you go.
We're
Mickey.
just gonna make you do
I
that.
thought you
for-
wanted me to do Mickey Mouse. Like, oh.
That'd be a good announcer. This is Gus Johnson,
Gus Johnson
and Mickey Mouse. And,
Oh, all I can do is, oh. What else does he say?
does he have any lines? I don't even know.
Does Mickey's,
I don't know. He's not that famous.
Does he have a catchphrase?
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, he was around when they literally didn't have sound or they didn't have, it was only silent movies.
Yeah. He'd be canceled nowadays anyway.
Mickey?
Oh,
Damn,
yeah.
What was Mickey
What did
getting
Mickey
into?
do?
Don't worry about it.
Fuck.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Somebody should make, that'd be a funny animated movie. Dirty Mickey.
So Mickey,
All right.
not Mickey Mouse, Mickey, I won't read their name because they didn't consent
Okay.
to that. But Mickey emailed in to say, so I highly doubt you guys realize this, but in the Week 7 preview episode, you answered your argument about the most popular cartoon character organically and inadvertently. Because earlier in the show, you all referenced Will Ferrell's scene in Semi-Pro when he keeps calling for the ball and throwing it back out. And later, DK states that Bambi is 100% the most popular cartoon character. Coincidentally, there is a scene in Semi-Pro where Will Ferrell's character, Jackie Moon, is talking to his team and talking about how he takes care of the team and says, I'm like Bambi's mom. I take care of you guys. To which Andre 3000's character replies, who the fuck is Bambi?
Oh, no way.
And that
It was
movie was
a
set
movie.
in like the
Pretty
70s.
good.
And the movie is set in 1976.
That's awesome. That's pretty good.
Andre 3000.
And then also, he says, Mickey ends, I walked into a 7-Eleven while listening and they have a Coke Zero Sugar Oreo Slurpee. This bullshit has to stop.
Slurpee.
More fireworks.
Yeah.
Dude, LA is going nuts right now.
That's pretty funny. The Andre 3000
That's
thing.
who the fuck is Bambi?
We should watch, maybe Semi-Pro is one of the next
Oh, yeah. The next
movie episodes we
Oh,
do.
that's pretty good. Yeah.
I feel like it's underrated. It didn't really like live on in the Will Ferrell era.
It didn't.
It didn't stick as well.
I can't. Honestly,
high
can't,
bar to
I
clear,
honestly
to be
can't
honest.
remember it that well.
Me neither. I
Obviously.
probably
Yeah, we'd have, it would actually require.
But
like,
it's a high
rewatch.
bar. There's so many other good ones.
Yeah.
You really need to hit.
All right.
That's funny.
We should probably get out of here. We actually have the Diet Coke Oreos, Coke Zero.
No, we
Diet,
have
no, there's
the-
no diet. Just Coke Zero Oreos. They're not diet.
They're not Coke Zero. I think they're just Coke.
There's Coke.
Coke
For
flavored
Coke
Oreos.
Zero Oreo.
They
No.
Coke Zero?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh.
No,
They
definitely.
Coke Zero Oreos?
They
Or just
advertise on our
Coke
show
Oreos?
now.
They're Coke Zero. Oh wait, they're right there.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're right. Yeah, they're Coke
They're
Zero.
on the chair right there.
I don't know.
DK, go get those.
We'll figure it out. This is how advertising works. We don't even know. We'll be here in LA all week. And so email us at ringerfantasyfootball@gmail.com for fantasy courts. Follow us on Instagram at Ringer Fantasy Football, TikTok. Although if you can only follow one, follow Gruden TikTok. Fine.
It's fine. We get it.
That's important.
Thank you, Kai. Thank you, DK and Craig. Even though DK, thank you for putting up with me. I actually really appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you, Kai and Carlos, for producing this episode. Thank you, Austin. Thank you, Richter. Thank you, Kira. Thank you, everyone here. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you. Email us more about the Bambi stuff. I enjoyed being not the most wrong about something once in my life. Thank you, Lauren.
Lauren.
Thank you, 311.
Who's that?
It's a band.
You asked before the show.
Yeah.
You said, do you guys have any bands you guys want me to shout out?
Mhm.
Because you're like, you're rightfully running out. And you said, and I said,
It's been 4 years, 5 years.
And I
Yeah.
said Florence and the Machine.
Oh, right.
And you looked me in the eye and you're like,
I forgot.
no.
Not gonna do that. Do you not?
Just because he wanted it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
fair.
That's petty.
I get that.
You could sense how this episode was going
Especially
to go.
after that little
Barb.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you like Flomo or no?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say I celebrate their entire collection.
Okay. But I'm aware of
I'm aware of it, and I respect that she's doing it. Or they are doing it. They're a band, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the machine.
Florence Machine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is 311 spelled the
311.
3?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
By the way, I have no idea what 311 is.
Well, yeah, I'm like, I feel
Who
like
is
I
that?
Kind of do.
It's like a
Usually when we're doing this remotely, I kind of just like subtly Google it because I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. But
they're like from the early 90s, something like that.
Oh, Carlos DK, you messed up. Carlos just texted us and said that you should have shouted out John Gruden's son who got nothing going on.
Right. Yeah.
Dude, can we outro with that music?
Got me feeling nice.
It sounds like Flux Pavilion or
I don't
something.
think
So what's this guy's name? Do we know?
Who, John Gruden's son?
Yeah, the guy making the music.
I mean, as soon as something Gruden.
Okay, I figured that.
Dude,
What are we doing here?
He's got 3 sons: Deuce,
DJ
Michael, and
Hext.
wait, hold on. His other son's name is Jason with a Y. Oh,
It's
Jason.
DJ
Austin
Hex?
texted DJ Hex.
DJ Hex.
DJ Hext.
Dude, wait, no, DJ.
Yeah, I see him. He's on SoundCloud.
Which one? It's not. Is it?
Is he on
Deuce
Spotify?
is the. Wait,
DJ.
but which one
Sounds
is
like a fucking
the
quarterback.
DJ
DJ
Gruden?
What is
Hex.
happening here?
So
Oh, here it
Deuce
is.
Gruden's the.
It's not that hard to find things on the internet.
But Deuce Gruden's the. Well, because he's.
Shut up, dude. I found it.
Hexed.
Hext. 18,000 monthly listeners. This is not his most popular song. It will be soon.
Are we sure this is John Gruden's son? I don't think this is John Gruden's son.
It is.
Craig's confident.
I'm pulling a Bill Simmons, just pointing out the iPad on the rewatchables. I didn't even really know there was a whole other part.
I don't think this is the song.
Yeah, it is. You can tell.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nicey.
Yep.
Oh.
There it is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it does feel faster or different in some way.
Yeah, that.
Oh, I recognize that, I think.
Yeah.
There it is. That's the one.
There it is.
When he's like, Stroud on the outside
It's like the
finds a seam.
you know the Simpsons thing, the meme where they're like, do the thing, Bart.
Do it. It's like when the Chiefs give Xavier Worthy the ball and it ended around. They're like, do the fast thing. Do the fast thing.
Touchdown, Texans.
Throws it up.
Throws it up.
Stroud.
Goodbye.
Stroud. Stroud.
It's like every time he like drops back, Stroud.
I always like it. I like when it's like a kick returner and he's like starting to make a little bit of room. He's like, it's like Watson finds a hole. Watson finds a seam.
There was a moment in Sunday Night Football today when I think it was like they had the referee expert guy come on and do like an explanation, and then Tirico was like, "Thanks." It was like literally in the same cadence and like tone as like if you were like, hey man, can you hand me those keys?
So Mike,
Thanks.
because the second foot did not appear to go down, it does not look like this will be a catch, and this call should stand.
Thanks. All right, and it was just so like dismissive.
Yeah. Will you
Thanks.
throw me my keys? Thanks.
Thanks. Hey, can I get by you? Thanks. It was like
I
the
squeezed by.
same exact tone and like feel to it, the motive. Thanks.
Goodbye, everyone.